welcome today Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
She's become such an icon.
Do you mind signing this copy?
I am 84 years old, and everyone wants to take a picture with me.
Notorious RBG. Yeah.
When you come right down to it, the closest thing to a superhero I know.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg changed the way the world is for American women.
RGB, or better known as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, has achieved a ton of things with her life. It's someone you can look up to. She has her 10 rules of success. Watch them and hopefully you learn something.
Captures the idea is a song that Marlo Thomas sang, free to be you and me. Free to be, if you were a girl, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, anything you want to be. And if you're a boy and you like teaching, you like nursing, you would like to have a doll, that's okay too. That notion that we should each be free to develop our own talents, whatever they may be, and not be held back by artificial barriers, man-made barriers, certainly not heaven sent. She had top grades at the Stanford Law School, and no one would hire her. So the bench was not something to which women aspired unless you were a dreamer. There had been only one woman on a court of appeals. In 1934, President Roosevelt appointed Florence Allen. When she retired, there were none. President Johnson appointed Shirley Hufstetler. She was the lone woman on a court of appeals. And it wasn't until President Jimmy Carter that things changed. President Carter looked at the federal bench and said, they don't resemble all of America. And he was determined to change the complexion of the U.S. judiciary. He appointed 25 or more women to the trial bench. He appointed 11 to courts of appeals, and I was one of the lucky 11. President Reagan didn't want to be outdone, so it was his mission to appoint the first woman to this court. And he did a nationwide search and came up with absolutely spectacular candidate to be the first woman. And we are all over the bench, and we are certainly here to stay. Some say I can be very convincing. In one dissent, I explained why the court was wrong to rule against women workers who were fighting to get paid the same as men. Congress and the president agreed with me and passed a law to undo the court's ruling.
I have had the great good fortune to share life with a partner, a man who believed at age 18 when we met that a woman's work, whether at home or on the job, is as important as a man's. I am grateful beyond measure for the confidence you have placed in me, and I will strive with all that I have to live up to your expectations in making this appointment.
She was one of the smartest people I ever knew. She had two messages for me in my growing up years: to be a lady. Don't be distracted by emotions like anger, envy, resentment. These just sap energy and waste time. And the other was to be independent. Yes, she hoped I would meet Prince Charming and live happily ever after, but she stressed the importance of being able to manage on my own. I love my job. It's the best and the hardest job that I have ever had. And it has kept me going through 4 cancer bouts. Instead of concentrating on my aches and pains, I just just know that I have to read this set of briefs and concentrate on the court's work. President Clinton called me late one Sunday evening and said, "Ruth, I have chosen you as my nominee for the court." I was on cloud nine. Being part of an institution that's respected all over the world. It's the hardest and the best job I've ever had. Marty and I were married for 56 years. We met when I was 17 and he was 18 at Cornell University. He was the only boy I knew who cared that I had a brain. I think it's essential if women are to have a truly equal chance. Men must care about their home, their children, as much as women do.
There's another student at Cornell.
Yes.
Who decided to become a lawyer too.
Yeah, my dear husband.
Your dear husband.
Yeah, in fact, we had decided that whatever we do it together. Cherish your daughters as much as your son, and teach them both to stand up for what is right and to be brave and not be put down if at first you don't succeed. Then you try and try again.
I surely would not be in this room today without the determined efforts of men and women who kept dreams alive. People like Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and Harriet Tubman. I stand on the shoulders of those brave people.
You will have a skill that will enable you to make things a little better for your community, your state, even your world, with the skill that you will achieve attending law school. I hope that all of you will spend part of your time thinking about people who need your help and offering it.
I became a lawyer when women were not wanted by the legal profession.
Thousands of state and federal laws discriminated on the basis of gender. She was following in the footsteps of the battle for racial equality. She wanted equal protection for women.
Men and women are persons of equal dignity, and they should count equally before the law.
He barely exchanged 2 sentences when he offered me a job. That same firm did not give me an offer, although I think I did a very good job as a summer associate, because by then they had what you might call a twofer. That is, Pauli Murray, a distinguished poet, author. Pauli was a black woman, and so they had made their point about how progressive they were. There was no need for another token. When you think about what would have happened, suppose I had gotten a job as a permanent associate. Probably I would have climbed up the ladder, and today I would be a retired partner. So often in life, things that you regard as an impediment turn out to be a great good fortune. I hope people will think of me as a good judge who tried with whatever ability I have to interpret the law wisely and to keep it in tune with the people that law exists or should exist to serve.
RGB has accomplished tons with her life, and her 10 rules can be adapted to your life. You can choose them all, or you can pick a few. I guarantee they will help you achieve more in your life. Please comment below on which rules resonate with you most.